Hey, welcome back for another episode of Cooking with Coach P. Today we're going to switch gears just a little bit. We're going to do a summer fruit salad with a lime honey dressing. It's going to be very good, very tasty. This is a little more healthy than the last meal that I did. So this is where we're going to kind of switch gears just a little bit. This goes really good, middle of the day, nice hot summer day. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break down my pineapple. So these are notoriously tricky to break down. I don't like doing them just because they are tricky. I would say if you want to spend the money in order to get the pre-cut pineapple, there is no shame whatsoever. So the first thing you want to do if you're cutting a pineapple is you want to take a big knife. You want a big knife so that way you can get more leverage. As always, you're going to grip right above here so that way you can get more pressure, and you'll always want the blade facing away from you. Here we're going to have to get close to our fingers, so you want to make sure you just keep those back. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start cutting down into it. Now, one of the things that I've always been asked is how can you tell if a pineapple is ripe? So the best part to see is right in between. You'll see that you have a yellow. This yellowish coloring is what you want to start seeing. If you see too much of this green, just let it go because it's not ripe just yet. So pineapples are notoriously tricky. So I always keep my bottom on. I'm going to get rid of the bottom in a little bit. What I want to do first though is I want to take off this outside. A couple different ways to do this. I use a knife. You can use a smaller knife if you want, but I'm going to use a bigger knife for now. So all you're going to start doing is just start shaving off the outside. Probably you want to go in about no more than about ½ an inch. And what you're going to do is just go around, and you're just going to go around, and you're going to take off the outside. If you get a little too much, it's not that big a deal. And like I said, just be careful of your fingers. If you want to use gloves, especially right now with the environment that we're in, that's probably not a bad idea. So now I'm actually going to switch. I'm going to go back to a smaller one because all I want to do is just kind of clean up a little bit. Okay? And just get rid of some of this. If some of it's on, it's not the end of the world, but you just want to try to trim it up real nice. Okay, and I'll get that right there. All right, so at this point, all this is trash, and you want to try to keep your workstation nice and clean. So at this point, my pineapple is pretty much to the point where I can start breaking it down even more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay it on its side, and I'm going to go back to my big knife, and I'm going to take off the bottom part. And again, just take off the bottom, okay? Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. A pineapple has a middle core that you need to kind of cut around. This is inedible, okay? So the easiest way I found to do this is to take your knife again, find a flat side. So I got a flat side right here, so I'm just gonna put that down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut it like that. Now you can see I cut so that way the hard part is still right here, okay? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flip it. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, just kind of eyeball it. So that way, again, you got that core right there. Flip it one more time. Oh, that's good. And finally, last time. And you can see that there's a little bit left around the outside here, but that's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you want to chew on this, that's fine. But you just want to make sure that you get rid of this core. This core, like I said, is completely inedible. What?
I like it.
It's completely inedible.
But I eat
So, what you're going to do is, now comes to the fun part where, again, you can cut off a piece and just eat it yourself, or you can cut it. Now I'm gonna cut it into cubes, what you might also hear called chunks. Some people might ask why, well, hey Coach P, why can't I just get canned? Canned is fine. A lot of times though, the canned is in a heavy syrup that is just causes a lot more calories, makes it extra sweet. So if you like that, that's fine. But personally, I'm more of a fresh pineapple kind of guy.
And it has additives.
Yes, and there's
And
other
preservatives.
additives, and there's other things as well. I mean, it's good, and don't get me wrong, I used to eat it when I was a kid, but anymore, if I can grab a fresh pineapple, this fresh pineapple cost me about $2. So it's really reasonable, and if you buy that can, you're gonna spend 50, 60 cents a can, so you could get more. But again, this is much, much healthier, especially if you're trying to find a real healthy snack. And honestly, to tell you the truth, you can just eat it like that if you really want. Oh, that's good. So, last one you just want to do real quick. So when I was a kid growing up, my mom used to always make fruit salads in the summer. So she would always have fruit. So I kind of got turned on to it. So top, bottom, they can go in the garbage as well. If you compost, try to save the environment, you're more than welcome to. I don't. I live in an apartment. It's kind of a little tricky. Next, I'm going to do watermelon. Okay? You can do any fruit that you want, but I'm going to do watermelon. I love watermelon, especially now that it's getting to summertime. You can get them pretty cheaply. Again, if you want to buy the pre-cut stuff, be my guest. There's no shame in that whatsoever. I have already pre-done this, okay? The way that I did it is I have what's called a melon baller, and all you do is you take it and you just get a melon, you scoop it out like that. So I've already gone ahead and pre-cut this, okay? And just one more time, you can see, oh, let me get a good one. It's very easy. If you want to cut this, you can cut it. And again, cutting watermelon is just kind of, is what it is. And then you can kind of cut it up into slices from there. I like the contrast from the pineapple into what's now going to be the watermelon. Now, I'm going to give this just a quick stir. Very quick stir, nothing too outrageous. Just, hey, let's mix it up. And the last thing I'm going to do today is something that a lot of people have around the house. So I'm trying to make this something that you have around the house. But this is something a lot of people have around the house, including a dog who's making noise. Like I was saying, a dog that's making noise, just give him a bone and take care of that. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some tangerines. You can also do oranges. I like tangerines. They're a little bit different flavor than an orange, a little bit more tart. So it'll be a good contrast to what we got going on already. Everything we have is still really sweet, so we want something to balance that. So this will give us a little bit of acid along with a little bit of tartness, which is really, really good. So the other good part about these is a lot of people already have these at home. So I'm going to very carefully. So you can do it one or two ways. If you are okay with using a knife, you're just going to hold it like this and cut into it a little bit. I would suggest holding it and either cutting it in half or just making a little slit like this. The reason why I make a little slit is because then it is much easier to peel. Okay? So I want to take all the skin off. And for these, I also like these because it doesn't take a whole lot of time. And again, these can go with everything else, with my pineapple rind, with my watermelon rind, like everything else. So I'm actually going to break these apart into the little pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And I've already done 2 others ahead of time, so I'm just going to dump those in as well. If you want, you can do more, but right now I'm just going to do these ones. So that's everything that I have that's going in fruit-wise. If you want to change it up, if you have different fruits, if you say, hey, Coach P, I want to put in some grapes, I want to add some of this, my kids like this, hey, this is everyone's own little flavor, but for me, what I like, I'm putting in here. So the big thing about this is going to be this little dressing that I'm going to be making. The dressing is going to be kind of a little bit of a play on a lime vinaigrette. It's not going to have the vinaigrette. Instead of that, I'm going to put a little bit of honey in. This is going to sweeten it up, but the important part is the lime, okay? The lime is going to be really important. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the lime and I'm actually going to roll on it and push it down. This makes it easier to squeeze. It also loosens up some of the juices. Then, I'm just going to cut it in half. If it wants to cut in half today, there we go. So, a little trick I found out not too long ago is, one, limes don't have seeds. So, I got a pair of tongs, a nice pair of tongs, not like a plastic pair of tongs, because this won't work. And I put it in between here, like so, and all I do is squeeze. And I found I get more juice out. It's also much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and again, you can turn this any way you feel like it, get all that. You want all this nice little lime juice in. And I will tell you, with lime juice, it's kind of like a lot of spices. Little goes a long way. So when you see how much lime juice I'm actually going to put in here, you're like, oh, that's not a whole lot. But what we're trying to get out of this is a little bit of the flavor, but we're also trying to get the acidity out of this. So there's one, set that to the side, and I'm going to do two for this. Set it there. Now, of course, this goes without saying, please wash your hands before you're doing this, especially right now, but also because you're going to be possibly serving for younger brothers, younger sisters, family members, kids, whatever. So you want to make sure that your hands are nice and clean. So just make sure that you pre-wash your hands. I already did. My hands are getting kind of sticky from touching all this stuff already, but you're going to be cooking for other people. You're going to be, younger brother, younger sister, older sister, family member. So you want to make sure that you pre-wash your hands. I already did. So there's a couple other things. I've already squeezed about a lime and a half of juice. I'm going to do one more, but I'm going to do it by hand this time, just to show you that you can do it by hand. And that's why it's important to go ahead and wash your hands. So what you're going to do is cup around the back, like so. And you can see I just cupped around the back. And all I'm going to do is start squeezing in, okay? Now, what you want to do is start moving towards the back because you just squeezed all the lime juice in the front. So you just want to start moving towards the back and just kind of massaging it out. And you can kind of see. So that's one way you can do it. There's also presses that you can buy. I don't have one because I'm okay with doing it this way. And again, I'm just going to give each of these one final squeeze, make sure I got everything. So, there we go. So, limes, trash. Rinds, trash. So I'm cleaning up my kind of workspace. My hands are really sticky, so I'm just going to give them a real quick wash. Kind of just rinse them off for a couple seconds. You don't need to do that, but sometimes you're like, let me just do this real quick. So towel them off, boom, 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 boom. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of honey. When I say a little bit of honey, I'm talking a tablespoon or two at most. It's really not that much. But the other thing you're going to do is you're going to get a whisk. You can use a fork with this, but you just want to kind of create a small sauce. And I'm going to actually kind of eyeball this. That should be good. And so you don't want to add too much honey. Too much honey, you're going to it's going to be almost sickeningly sweet. So and then you're just going to kind of give that a nice And you can see the honey kind of dissolves in that. So just make sure kind of the lemon juice dissolves it. So the last thing, and this is a really, really cool herb I like to work with. It's so good. Mint. So this is one that, again, little goes a long way. I'm actually gonna take some mint. I'm just gonna rip off a little bit here. So there. Oh, it smells so good. Already smells so good. If you can get your hands on a little bit of mint, this costs a little bit of money at Kroger, but I got this at Kroger. Most of your major grocery stores carry mint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give this a nice little chop, okay? And it can be fine as you want. When you chop, and I'll just show you real quick, I use this technique. You can use just like this. The number one thing you want to make sure is keep your fingers away from the blade. Keep saying that, but trust me, you want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my blade flat. I'm going to palm right here, fingers up, and then I'm here and I wrap. Then you wrap on the blade right here. So, and then it's just an up and down motion. And you want to make sure you get most of it chopped. Again, this can be, and then I got a little bit of the juice, which is okay. Nothing wrong with it. And then that goes into there. And we're gonna get that just a real stir. All right. So like I said, this is a play on a vinaigrette. If I wanted to make this a real salad dressing, I would just add a little apple cider vinegar, white wine vinegar, some sort of vinegar into this, and make a great salad dressing. So now you just give it a nice little like that. Bring this here, and we're just gonna stir it all together now. So I don't think I have ever made this for my girlfriend. I don't think I ever have. So I'm
Nope, you haven't.
all right, so I'm gonna I don't think I've ever made this sauce for her before. So I'm gonna get 2 forks. What do you want?
Pineapple.
You want pineapple? All right, let's see. Let's give you, got a little bit of mint. Open up. I'm gonna take some pineapple as well.
Can really taste that mint. But light. This is like a little dose of mint with all the flavor of the pineapple. Very, very good.
And
Hint of the honey.
A hint of the honey. I got some honey right there, but the lime as well. And the lime is really light. And the bad part about the lime, super powerful. It can be super powerful. The good part is it's very refreshing on your tongue. So that's what I got for Cooking with Coach P this week. Make sure, and I'm just getting nice and close. Remember to comment below. Remember to comment below on things that you liked about it, things that you want to see in the future, and also give me a like. Also remember to follow my channel because there will be more and more and more videos hopefully. Next week, not sure what we're going to do. That's why I'm taking comments below. But this has been Cooking with Coach P. Thank you for paying attention.